Hello my lovely, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Seppi and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier life. And today's video is all about things I did to rebuild myself and reclaim my life after divorce. In my last video, I shared with you a little bit about the context of my divorce, but more importantly, the things that I did to get through it. And today's video is more about after the divorce. What happened since then, what I've done to rebuild my life, to reclaim my life, and to build a happier life for myself. So if you're ready, let's just jump right in. It's no secret, a breakup or a divorce is traumatic. Your life is turned upside down. The future you thought you were going to have is no more, and you have to grieve the relationship that you had, but also the future that you thought you were going to have with this person. And when I got out of my divorce, one thing that was very important for me is to give myself the time and space to rebuild myself, my confidence, independent of the relationship, and also to reclaim my life, to reclaim my future, and to build an inspiring and exciting future for myself to look forward to. If you want more details on tips on how to get through divorce, make sure to watch the last video. I talk a little bit more about that. Today's video is about things you can do now. If you have just broken up or just gotten a divorce, things you can do now to reclaim your life, to give yourself the best chance you have to live a happy, fulfilling life as the best version of yourself. So if you're ready to get into the meat of the video, let's continue. The first thing that I want you to consider and to do is to understand that divorce is traumatic. In terms of the most stressful things that a person can experience, I think a divorce is number 2 or number 3 on the scale, something like that, after a death. And so I want you to recognize how important it is for you to give yourself the time and space you need to heal from whatever happened, from the divorce itself, from the experience of the divorce, because that can take time. It's very taxing, it's very draining, it's exhausting. You have to go through a mourning process. And so I really want to inspire you and empower you to take the time you need to heal from the trauma. That way you make sure that you are healing the wounds instead of carrying them with you through life, because that's what happens with disease, right? Or chronic illnesses. They're often triggered by traumatic situations or really intense situations, such as a divorce. And you don't want your health, your mental or physical health, to take a toll. Things that I've done to heal my trauma, to process the emotions, they're varied. And you can do one of them, you can do all of them, you can try if you see what resonates, but I really encourage you to try different healing modalities to help you get through it, and moving forward to keep these in your back pocket as your toolbox for your overall mental and emotional well-being. So what am I talking about when I'm talking about healing modalities? We're talking about therapy, but we're also talking about more woo-woo or a bit more alternative healing modalities, such as somatic healing. So we're talking about movement to process trauma. We're talking about EFT, or that's tapping, which allows you to calm your nervous system. We're talking about things like journaling, which is a little bit maybe more common nowadays, but journaling is definitely a tool that's going to help you heal from your trauma. We're also talking about things like meditation, hypnosis, which there are things that you can do at home and for free. We're also talking about things like Reiki, which is energy healing, which is something that I've been doing and it has helped me a lot. And we're talking about doing more in-depth work with inner child healing. If you find as though you're divorced, it brought up things about your childhood and trauma you have to heal from your childhood, then inner child healing is very helpful to help you heal from the trauma. So that is the first thing that I'm going to say, is that if you want to give yourself the best chance to really heal, to thrive, and to really experience life fully, take the time you need to heal, to process everything that has happened, to mourn the future that you thought that you would have, and to not to start with a clean slate, but to almost to wipe it as clean as possible, to put yourself in the best physical, mental, and emotional state as possible. That way you can build on that and to build a happier life and the best version of yourself from that point forward. And of course, these are tools that you can use moving forward. I still use all of these tools on a daily, weekly basis because they help me a lot when it comes to managing stress, anxiety, the PTSD that I have left over because of the divorce. So these are all tools that are going to be useful for you regardless. So I would encourage you to look into those, try them out, see what works, see what resonates, resonates. If they don't work, you don't like it, that's okay, but at least give it a try and try to do at least 1 or 2 of these as often as possible to heal from the trauma. The next thing that I did to rebuild myself after divorce was to reflect and build my new identity. When you're in a relationship, when your lives are so intertwined, your identity becomes very much involved and very much shaped by your experience within that relationship, within that marriage. And once you're out of it, it feels like you're fish out of the water. It feels a little bit confusing. And what I found is that taking the time for introspection, for self-reflection, spending time with myself, giving myself the space to reflect on the past, on what happened, doing inner child healing as well, because some of the trauma from childhood came up and I recreated some situations in my marriage. So doing all of the work to understand the circumstances and my contribution to the divorce were really pivotal for me to understand myself at a deeper level, to then be able to tell myself, okay, so here are the things that I did in the marriage that I recreated, and the things that I need, the aspects of myself that I need to heal. I put in the work to try and heal those things, to work on them, and I'm still practicing those healing modalities every single day to make sure that I'm continuously working on myself. And then from there, now that I understand the background, what is it that I want moving forward? What is my identity? Who do I want to be? How do I want to live? What are my values? What are the things that are important to me moving forward? And before getting into another relationship, to make sure that I prioritize myself and I am the best version of myself as I can be. Learning from your past and your past situations and your past challenges is really important and really helps you kind of accept your journey and come to embrace it and be at peace with it. And then moving forward, defining a new identity. Who are you? Who is this new version of yourself in this new life? Who do you want to be? How do you want to dress? What is your confidence going to be like? How do you want to carry yourself? All those little things felt really exciting. Initially it felt overwhelming, but then it did feel really exciting to build this new identity about the person that I wanted to be in this new life and the new life that I wanted to live for myself. Because once you have a clear vision, it becomes a lot easier for you to build on that, for you to create that and bring it into reality. If you have a specific idea of the type of life you want to live, then your subconscious mind will continuously be working towards creating that. And if you build a new identity, for example, I am a healthy person, then subconsciously your mind is going to be thinking about that. And when you define what a healthy person means, then your subconscious mind will support you in making more inspiring, more mindful and conscious decisions throughout the day to become that healthy version of yourself. So take the time to reflect on this new identity, this new person that you are in this new life, and get excited about it. The next thing that I would encourage you to do to reclaim your life and to build your dream life after divorce is to do things that you are afraid of and or to do things alone. Now, I think it's really important coming out of a relationship to just give yourself a little bit of time and space to do things on your own, to make sure that you're okay on your own 2 feet and that you're not getting into another relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship because you're scared of being alone. I know that I was definitely scared of being alone, being lonely, etc. However, the more time you spend with yourself, the more confidence you're going to build in your ability to take care of yourself emotionally and physically. I think for myself, there was a lot of codependency and I felt completely lost when my marriage ended. Even emotionally, even though it wasn't necessarily the healthiest environment, I still felt very much codependent. I struggled a lot being on my own. And so coming out of it, one thing that was really important for me is to be able to be on my own 2 feet no matter what, physically and emotionally, to be able to manage my emotions, manage my anxiety on my own, and to be able to take care of myself physically, to learn how to pay for a home. I bought my own place, to furnish it, to do things on my own, to run errands, etc. Not that I wasn't able to do any of that, all of it alone, but overall doing things on your own will help you build confidence in your ability to do things for yourself, to take care of yourself. That way you can know that you can rely on yourself no matter what, and you can build that resilience and that self-confidence. Another thing that I did was to face some of my fears. For example, I was always really scared scared of traveling alone. I took a trip solo to New York City last summer, and it was scary, and I definitely had a lot of anxiety, but it was really helpful in proving to myself that I can do this. I don't need anyone, but I will choose someone to be in my life and to help me. And not to say that you have to go through everything in life alone. If you're going through a hard time, reach out to friends, reach out to your family. That's also okay, but there's always a balance between knowing that you can rely on yourself no matter what, and to face your fears and to build up that confidence in your ability to be able to be your own person and to stand on your own 2 feet. The next thing that I would really encourage you to do as you're coming out of a divorce or a big breakup is to create an inspiring, exciting new vision for your life, for your future, and to start dreaming big. One of the things that really helped me overcome the fear of leaving the marriage was to build a more inspiring vision for myself. Where was I going to live? How would I decorate my new home? What kind of lifestyle did I want to have? What did I want to work on how do I want to grow my business, for example? All of these things help me put things into perspective to realize that there is another future that I can create for myself. One of the things that happens when you divorce or you break up is that the future you thought you would have, you have to mourn that. You have to come to a place where you just realize that future you thought you were going to have with this person in the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years is not going to happen. You have to mourn that. And it becomes really scary to face this unknown of the future. It just feels so blurry. I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who I'm going to be outside of this relationship. And it goes kind of hand in hand with the previous point, which is to create a new inspiring and exciting vision for your future. Where do you want to live? What are some goals you want to achieve? Some trips you want to do? Things you want to do by yourself? Things you want to do with your friends? How do you want to decorate your home? One of the things that I did that was so much fun was to create a Pinterest board, and I really was very intentional with the way that I named it. I created a new dream home, and I created different boards, different sections within the board for all the ways I want to decorate my bedroom, my living room, my kitchen, the little decorations that I wanted to have. I even went out and I splurged on some items that were really not necessary to splurge on, but these really cute girly glasses and this pink kettle that I really wanted and a pink set for salt and pepper shaker. Do the little things that get you excited for your future, even though some of it might seem superficial, like that kettle and salt and pepper shaker. No, I didn't need that, but those are the little things that did help me get a little bit excited, and with time obviously that excitement grew for the future that I was trying to create for myself. Now within that context of creating a vision and new goals and new dreams, journaling was a big tool that I used because I would allow myself to just sit down and just write in the present tense, but describe the ideal version of myself. How did I feel? How do I carry myself? How do I get dressed? What are my habits? What are my routines? What are the things that I'm doing? Where am I traveling to? What emotions am I experiencing all the time? So doing a little bit of manifestation and visualization journaling really helped me get into that state and get into that mindset of the future I was wanting to create for myself. And at the same time, creating more specific visions. For example, I still have it on my phone, and honestly when I look at it I get emotional, but I wrote down specifically how I wanted to feel in my home. Instead of getting focused on the nitty-gritty of the neighborhood I wanted to live in, I took a step back. I asked myself and I journaled it out. How do I want to feel in my new home? What does it feel like in it? I wrote things like there's a lot of light, I feel safe in the home, I feel comfortable, I feel happy. The home feels like an expression of myself because I love home decor, so I'm able to express myself through how I decorate my home. And so having these really enticing, exciting, juicy images and visions that I had for my future, for an alternative future, felt really exciting and very comforting to have. So that way I could focus more on that instead of the heartbreak, the breakup, the mourning, and just sitting in the anger and the frustration of, the past. And that enabled me to come to this point, to buy my own home, to decorate it exactly the way that I want, to build a business that I'm excited and proud about, to build an Etsy shop that I'm excited and proud about, to also have a full-time job that allows me to do all of these things and to travel. I went on an amazing trip a couple months ago with my mom and sister to Paris, and allow myself to really reclaim my life and reclaim these experiences and reclaim my present and reclaim my future for myself. Because I mentioned this in my last video, but when I got a divorce, it was really important for me to not become a bitter old woman that 20, 30, 40 years down the line is still talking about the situation and what happened and, you know, he did this to me and whatever. I never wanted that for myself. And so I did all of these things to heal, to reflect on the past, but to just take away the lessons that are important and valuable for my future, and then to build a more exciting and inspiring future for myself, and to slowly chip away at it and to slowly build that exciting, new, happier life for myself. And that has made the experience more tolerable. I'm at a point where I'm at peace with it, and I'm just grateful for the life that I have today. And if I talk about it a lot, I will get emotional because I'm really grateful for how far I actually have come. And that's the whole point of me making these videos. The last video and this video is that if you're in the midst of it, I know that it's hard, and I know that when I was going through it, it would have been nice to have someone that could relate to how I was feeling, because it's really hard to verbalize how heartbreaking and hard a divorce and a big breakup is. And I hope that these videos make you feel a little bit less lonely and give you some practical tips of things you can actually do to get out of it, and then once you're out of it, of how you can actually build an exciting future for yourself. So if you have any specific questions, please let me know. I'm here. I'm an open book, and to some extent I'm an open book. I can share with you more about my experience. I also have a few journaling workbooks on my Etsy shop for self-confidence, self-love. I will leave the links to that in the description box as well. And I am working on a workbook with guided prompts specific for a divorce or a big breakup, to help you process it and go through it, and to, you know, what I talked about now, to create a more inspiring, exciting vision for your future. When the workbook is on my shop, I will leave the link to that in the description box as well. But if you watched through the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm sending you a lot of love. Bye for now.